Hey, good morning guys. So let's talk about that drone move that I was talking about in my previous video. So this is how the move looks like.
Right, so this is a refill move. As you can see, we are refilling an object on our right and slightly to our front. And in this case, I'm revealing that water fountain over there. Pretty small, but it's the only thing I can find to reveal.
Right, and I think it's supposed to be called a downward push orbit. Yeah, I think that's the most accurate naming, the most accurate name that we can apply to it. Maybe there's already a name for it, but I just don't know about it. So maybe you guys can put in a comment down below what it's called, But yeah, it's so this is a push orbit right here. This is when you yaw to the right, yaw to the right, yaw to the right while throttling forward and rolling left. Yep, that's the term. Before we get into the move, let me talk about the 4 basic movement that you can achieve with this, with the drone joystick, right? So on your left joystick, you can ascend or descend. I think it's also called pitch up and pitch down, which is pretty inaccurate when it comes to drone, because unlike the regular aircraft, where you move the nose of, when you pitch the nose up and down by moving this joystick down or up, so the aircraft remain in position, but you pitch the nose up and down, right? And then you kind of have to throttle up or throttle down to make the plane, not throttle down, sorry. You kind of have to throttle to move the plane, to ascend the plane or descend the plane, depending on the pitch of the nose. So yeah, not with the drone, because when you move it up, the drone will move up, move it down, the drone will move down. So I think it should be called ascend or descend. But anyway, I digress. So, and then if you move right or left, this is called yaw. So the drone will remain on its center axis, but it will yaw to the right or to the left according to where you push it to. Right, moving on to the right joystick, this is throttle forward and throttle backwards. I don't know what it's called, throttle backwards, but the drone will move backwards, right? So reverse, throttle and reverse. So that's pretty accurate, but this one, right or left, is called roll, which is also, again, inaccurate, because with airplane, if you do this, if you move the joystick to the right, then the plane will eventually it'll make a 360-degree turn, right? But not with the drone. It'll remain constant on the z-axis, doesn't really rotate, but it will strafe right and left. So kind of like in the first-person shooter game, rather than having the guy roll, the guy will actually move right and move left, but still maintain that, still face along the z-axis, if that makes sense. Right, so this move that we talked about earlier is achieved by doing this. You see what I did there. So yeah, it's a combination of, so this is an orbit move, right? Where you're orbiting on an object at the center of your screen. So yeah, this is counterclockwise orbit, and this is the clockwise orbit. So that's an intermediate move involving 2 camera moves. Obviously, it can be a 3 camera move if you're also moving your camera up and down. Very difficult to achieve, but you can do it if you want to. See, you can move the camera down or move the camera up. Okay, so that's orbiting. And then you have a slight variation to orbiting, which is the push orbit, which is pretty similar, but you move your right joystick at an angle. So you yaw to the right, but the drone remains at the same altitude, and you also throttle forward while rolling left. And this will give it a more zooming effect, more cinematic feel rather than a regular orbit. But the move that I just showed you earlier, involving 4 camera movements, or 5 if you're also moving the camera up and down, so that's a pretty advanced move. It's called the downward push orbit, right? So it's pretty similar to this move right here, but you want to angle the right joystick as well, like this. You see what I did there? So yeah, this is a reveal technique to remember that this is it's pretty counterintuitive as well. Remember that this is the directional facing of your drone joystick right here. So yeah, it's pretty counterintuitive. Why do I say it's counterintuitive? Because when you do this, your instinct is telling you that drone is moving to the left, right? But you're actually revealing an object on your right because your drone is yawing right. So so you want to put the object that you want to reveal at the beginning of the shot obscured on your right, slightly in front of you. So say at a 45-degree angle, you know. So and then you do this, and then your drone will slowly make a turning effect towards the object on your right, revealing it at the center of the screen, and also moving downwards, you know. So kind of like an eagle swooping for its prey. I think that's the most accurate term for it. Yeah, very useful skill to have and a very useful move to have, especially if you're shooting like say a wedding video or something. So yeah, you want to put the brides and groom on your right while you're facing a nice scenery or an altar or something like that, or whatever that you want, and then you can zoom towards the bride and groom, and you have them pose, kiss each other or hug each other, and I think that's a pretty cinematic, awesome move to have in your arsenal. So yeah, takes a little bit of practice, a lot of practice actually, because you know if you're not balanced and if you do this to if you move your right joystick slightly too fast or too far forward, and even if you forget the angle is supposed to be this much, you know, and you slightly lower it, you know, and then your aircraft, your drone is going to do something funny, you know, like make too wide of a turn, crash into a tree, or make a very sharp turn, you know, and lose that zooming effect. So yeah, it definitely takes a little bit of practice. This side, obviously, if you push it too much, then it will turn too quickly, you know, and you miss the object rather than facing them. They'll still be on your still at the front of it, you know, and they ended up at the left side of the screen. So yeah, definitely activate your grid lines and on your app, so to help you guide and keep the object that you want to reveal centered. I didn't do it, and that's why you see that the water fountain and the gazebo that I was using as an object off-center. So, but yeah, basically I just want to show you how the shot's supposed to look like. And yeah, obviously if you maintain this position and the drone will make a 360 turn, right? So not only you can reveal the object on your right, you can also reveal the object at the back. Right, so thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoy this kind of tutorial video. If you want more of it, like this video, put a comment on it and say like, hey, you know, give us more stuff, more moves that you can do with the drone, and I'll make more videos of it. All right, thank you very much, guys.